What's up everybody? My name's Aaron Cates, and if you're new to the channel, mainly this channel is based off of truck stuff, me taking the truck to truck meets, doing anything basically that involves my truck. But this video is going to be a little bit differently. On Tuesday, May 7th, 2019, I was at work and I work for Lake County Road Operations. I do anything for the roads around Lake County, so whether it be potholes, mowing the grass, trimming trees, anything that kind of has to do with the roads, that is what I do. And on Tuesday, about 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we were mowing this road called Sunnyside Drive in Leesburg. And it was my coworker and I, his name is Matthew Dexter, and he was mowing the end of Sunnyside, and I was coming up to see where all he had gotten mowed to so I could help him to get it done for that day. And as I'm coming up, I see Matthew down in the ditch on the side of the road, and he's got this look in his eye, he's really freaked out, and he's waving his arms. So like he's standing on the side of the road and he's like going like this, like waving his arms, and he's like waving at me. So I'm like wondering, is there something in the road? Am I gonna hit something? Did he hit something? Did he hit like a telephone box? Because we get in a lot of trouble if we hit something like that. So I'm like wondering, like, he must have hit something. Something's obviously wrong. So I'm coming up and I see this like light colored thing down in this like marshy swamp area. And I'm like, oh, that looks like a phone box that he hit. And I'll include a picture of what a phone box looks like. And so I'm coming up and I see whatever this is. I'm like, God, that's a phone box. And I started to get past his tractor, and I looked like over my left shoulder. I looked over and I see an animal. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he hit an animal. He just hit an animal with his deck. I hope this animal's okay. And like all these things are rushing through my mind. So like I get out of the tractor, I'm like running over there. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, she's down in the ditch, and there's this gorgeous little pit bull. And come to find out, she was 7 years old. So we thought she was younger, but she's actually 7 years old. But I'll get to that. And there's this pit bull, and she's like down like 3 foot back into the water. It's probably like a foot deep, and just her head is sticking up out of the water, and she's got her head like rested on this big thing of mud, and she's skin and bones. And I'll include a picture that I took of her after we got her out of the water right here. And we get her, well, before we even get her out of the water, I run down and I see what happens. He's like, hey, do you have any gloves? So I ran back to my tractor and I grabbed my work gloves and I run back over, and he puts the gloves on and he pulls her out, but we can tell she's in a lot of pain. She like picks her head up, like letting him know like that hurt. So we just got her out of the water, and I'm sitting there and I'm holding her head up because she doesn't even have enough strength to hold her head up. And so we pull her out. I'm holding her head up, and I asked him like what happened. He said, I was coming around this telephone pole and I just saw her down here and I instantly shut the tractor off. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like worried like you might have like almost hit her or something. He's like, no, I never even got to her yet. And he's like, I wish we had something to cover up with. And I don't know like what freak of nature this was, but literally like 20 yards down the road there's a towel laying on the side of the road. So he runs over while I'm holding her head and grabs his towel, and he had already called animal control before he even touched her. He knew just right off the bat that she needed animal control like right away. So he runs and grabs his towel, and he left his phone at the tractor, and his phone starts ringing, and it's the animal control calling his phone. So he yells like, answer my phone, and I answer it, and he's asking for details of like where we're at. And the animal controls guy, his name is CJ, and he's like, where are you guys at? Is there like any landmarks near you that I can use as references? We gave him the cross streets that were really close to us. And I said, there's 2 big blue tractors with flashing lights. You will see us. He's like, are they like Lake County tractors? I was like, we work for Lake County. And then that like clicked in his head, like, if these are county guys and they're freaking out about this, I really need to hurry up because we see a lot of things. So he's like, I'm like 15-20 minutes out. I'm gonna hurry as fast as I can. I was like, you need to hurry because I think she might die before we even get here. And he's like, she's that bad? I was like, she's in really bad shape, as you guys saw from the picture. So he finally gets there, and now it's probably been 30 or 40 minutes since we originally pulled her out of the water. So I've been sitting here holding her head, I've been petting her, I've been trying to like keep her calm down because I was worried she was gonna die, and I wanted her last few minutes of life to be at least being loved by a human, because you can tell her whole life she's been mistreated by one. And he shows up, he puts his gloves on, he comes and picks her up, and she's in a lot of pain. She tried to bite him when he picked her up, didn't even have enough strength to pick her head up to bite him. And he puts her in the back of the truck, and I explained to him that I want to know if she survives, because I'm a big animal lover, and I just really wanted to know if she would make it. So he got my number and everything, and he left. He got to the animal shelter, and he ended up giving me a call later that day that they got an IV into her, and she actually stood up on her own, and she's doing a whole lot better now, and he thinks she's going to make it. And it was awesome to hear. And then everything kind of died down. That was Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon, still nothing's been heard or anything. It just kind of got dropped. Like, this isn't the first animal that we find. Most animals we find are dead, but I mean, there's still plenty of live animals that are found every single day that someone rescues. So like, didn't think anything big about it. We just wanted to save the dog. Thursday comes around, and my supervisor calls Matthew and starts asking information about the dog. And come to find out, the head director of road operations, Lori Kuntz, had found out that 2 of the workers at our barn, which is Matt and myself, had saved this dog, and she's calling us heroes, and she's so happy that she has people working for her that are like that. And she was just blown away that it kind of went unnoticed for a couple days that we saved this dog that was on her deathbed basically, and now she's alive. She's at a rescue shelter, and she's gonna get adopted one day, and she considered us heroes for that. So she got our names and got pictures of the dog, talked to animal control, talked to the animal shelter, talked to Pit Sisters Incorporated that ended up taking her, and all these things all happened Thursday, May 9th. It all through Thursday, this is all what's going on. All these names are being exchanged, pictures, and then it got to the media for Lake County, and the media sent it to the news group. And my supervisor told me Thursday night before we all left work, there's a big possibility you guys are going to be getting interviewed on the news tomorrow. You guys might like want to make sure you wear your cleanest uniform, no wrinkles, wear like a nice hat or something. Don't look like a bum. So we're preparing Thursday night to be interviewed Friday. Friday comes around, I walk in, nothing's being heard. He's like, the last thing I heard from Lori was she asked if you guys were working today. He's like, so just keep your phone on you. He's like, I'll call you if I need you. And I'm like, okay. Well, we go to work Friday, and about 9:30 in the morning he called me and said that you guys are gonna have an interview today. Wait for me to call you. And about 11:30, right before lunch, he gave me a call. Said, you have an interview with Fox 35 News. He said, so you guys need to come back to the shop, and we're going to Tavares by the courthouse to get interviewed. On the way there, he's like, there's a possibility West 2 is coming. He goes, there's a press release already released right now. Lake County had posted on their Facebook page. There was a press release from Lake County stating everything that happened. We found out that the animal shelter had named her Glory. And I was a little upset about that because I originally named her Sunny when we were sitting on the side of Sunnyside Road, and I thought that was a great name for her because she was a very bright dog. She's bright white and she's very gorgeous. But Glory is a good name for her. I thought Sunny stuck better, but they named her Glory, and it came back that everyone thought we named her Glory. I actually named her Sunny, just to clear that up, but Glory works out well for her. And so we're at the courthouse waiting to get interviewed. Fox 35 shows up, asked us a bunch of questions, records a bunch of stuff, did some pictures of us and everything, and says, well, you'll be on the news at 5 o'clock tonight. We're like, okay, well, thank you. And we're sitting there, and one of the photography guys for Lake County comes out and takes pictures of Matt and myself. And the media director for Lake County says, West 2 is on the way. They'll be here in about 30 minutes. If you guys want to wait. And we're like, of course we're going to wait. We're not going to turn down a news crew. And So we wait for them to show up. They show up, and working with West 2 was a lot better because Fox 35, they were super nice, but they weren't really like asking very good questions to help answer to. West 2, at least, she went more in depth with the questions, asked more specific questions, so it was a lot easier to answer to. And so got retorted by West 2, and even after the recording stopped for West 2, Fox had just left, like right after the recording, said goodbye, nice meeting you, that was all. West 2, the cameraman and the microphone lady, I don't know what you call her, the news reporter, they actually, after the cameras were done rolling, they thanked us multiple times, asked us about like what type of animals we've had. And I had 2 pit bulls growing up, and that was like kind of the scary thing about putting her on the news, is that she was a pit bull. A lot of people don't like pit bulls very much, but thanked us so many times for saving the dog and doing the right thing, because a lot of people would have just driven past her. And from what we can tell, she was probably down in that ditch for about 2 days, so a lot of people did drive past her. And so West 2 thanked us, and they left, and it kind of got dropped from there. From what we knew, there was just a press release out, and that we were going to be on Fox 35 News at 5, and we were going to be on West 2 at 5. And that was kind of like the end of it, that we thought. And then I got home, and I went on the internet, and I'm very happy about it, but I just can't believe how far it's going, and I have a feeling it's not over yet. We made it on Fox 35 and West 2, but we also made it on almost every radio station in Central Florida and up into North and South Florida. We're on almost every news station in Florida. We're on the news stations in Memphis, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Boston, Massachusetts, Washington, Ohio, Oklahoma. It's like it went from just this little thing to now it is across the country. I've got people tagging me and stuff on Facebook, people sending me pictures of me on the news, and I watched the news clips, and I will include them in this video from Fox 35 and West 2, the ones that I personally got interviewed from. A lot of the other news stations used the clips from West 2 and Fox 35, but I'll include Fox 35 and West 2's clips in this video. So I just wanted to give you guys the full story of what happened between Matt and I saving this dog, because it got broken down so much on the news. So if you guys would like to watch the news clips other than this video, you can just type into Google or Bing or anything like that, Leesburg, Florida road crew finds emaciated dog, and it will bring up all the clips. I want to go buy a newspaper today, because I'm sure I'm in the newspaper. It's been on Orlando Sentinel, The Village's News, West 2, Fox 35, WFTV. I mean, it goes on and on. There's so many news stations that we're on right now. But I just want to say this is not the first animal that I have rescued or Matt has rescued. I grew up doing things like this. This actually isn't my first time being in a newspaper for saving animals. When I was younger, we made it in the newspaper for saving like 22 horses from a farm. It was a very large number of horses, I know that much, but we made it in the paper for that. So this isn't just something that I just did one time and I got noticed for. I've grown up getting not noticed, but I've grown up saving animals. Grew up saving horses, dogs, cats, you name it. I've always been a massive animal lover. You guys see in my videos, my cat's always in the background. I would love to adopt a dog, but where I am living at now, I cannot have a dog. So maybe somewhere down the road I can meet whoever adopts her and get to see her again. It is a possibility that when she gets healthy enough to go up for adoption, they're going to bring her back down here and take pictures of Matt, the dog, and myself, just for like where she came from to where she is now. So thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to check out the news clips. I'll be playing them after I get finished talking. But thank you guys for watching. If you wanted to read any of the press release, the news reports, anything like that, like I said, just type what I said earlier into Google and they will all show up, I guarantee it. But thank you guys for watching. Remember to go down and hit that subscribe button. Lots more videos coming out. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.
Glory is now safe and being cared for after she was rescued by these 2 Lake County Public Works employees from and Dexter were working along Sunnyside Drive in Leesburg when they saw the pit bull, which was emaciated. Matthew was mowing near this telephone pole.
I looked ahead of me, and there she was. She had her head popped up, just staring at me.
What did you think?
I was like, oh, this poor girl, I gotta help her.
As I came driving up, I saw him down in the ditch. I got out to try and see if I could help at all. We pulled her out of the water and sat there and held her head out of the water while we waited for animal control.
The dog was shaking and dehydrated. The men kept her calm. Glory, that's the name you guys gave her?
Yes,
Why?
because it's a glorified victory for her.
Her spine's sticking out, her ribs are sticking out. You can see the shape of her skull because her skin is so just drained and sagging down all over her body.
Glory is now at Pit Sisters in Jacksonville, Florida, a non-profit dog rescue. She is at a veterinarian receiving additional care, and she will be made available for adoption once she is healthy.
As long as she has a happy family, I'm happy for her.
Both men say they have loved animals all their life and have owned pit bulls too. They have a message for anyone who no longer wants their pet.
Instead of taking the dog out and throwing her on the side of the road, take her to animal control, take her to a pound. Don't throw her on the side of the road just to lay there and die.
In Lake County, Gail Pascal Brown, West 2 News.